What's up, you guys? Ross Sapp here for the Fightful.com news update podcast thing. I don't know. I wanted to give you all a little bit of an update since we didn't have a show yesterday. A lot of you may not follow us on Twitter. Go ahead and do that at Fightful Online. Follow me at Ross Sapp. I had to let you all know the Vince show didn't happen on Friday because he is with his family. He had to address a personal situation. If you follow him on Twitter, you know what's up. Send him your best wishes, please. But I think we'll likely make that show up probably next week, maybe the week after, whenever really Vince can get around to it, because this is an unfortunate. You can't schedule something like that, and you can't schedule around it. I wasn't going to call up Vince and say, "Hey, Vince, I know you're having some major family issues. Come do this podcast." So that show will be made up. But best wishes to Vince and his family. I know it's a really, really tough time for him as well. But in place of that, we did have a Vince Russo feature yesterday, which was titled, let me make sure I know what it was titled. It's under our exclusive section, as well as Fightful.com/wrestling. I believe it was, "I killed WWE or WCW. Go F yourself." So he's not happy with that narrative, needless to say. Also, we have another Vince Russo exclusive coming up tonight in place of the podcast. Like I said, we'll probably make it up. But I didn't want to leave you without your weekly dose of Vince, because I know some of you can't get enough of him. But we have one on what he thinks led to the beginning of the end of TNA, which who knows? They might survive even these lawsuits. Who knows? They'll come crawling out of the rubble if we ever get nuked, and it'll just be Dixie Carter waving a TNA flag, like the Home Shopping Network or whatever they end up on. Who knows? But I wanted to give you all, this will be an abbreviated show, just kind of short, kind of quick. It was completely unannounced, unscheduled. I decided to do this about 5 minutes ago. So a couple of the news items. Survivor Series. Oh my gosh, it's going to be a 5-hour show if you include the kickoff show. I don't know why you need to do this. This is not a good move in my opinion. If you're looking to cut costs like they often have been, maybe they're not anymore. They seem to be doing fine. But if you're going to have 10 people in a women's Survivor Series match, you're going to have 20 people in a Survivor Series tag match, 10 people in another Survivor Series match, what does that leave you with? What does that leave you with for a 4-hour main show? And I'm sure they'll try to stick something on the pre-show. I don't know about that call. Maybe it'll be great. It's dual branded. That helps. And we've seen SmackDown have some really good 3-hour shows with half a roster. So maybe this will end up being awesome. I don't know. Maybe they'll add some more Survivor Series matches to it. Because really, with those Survivor Series matches, there's no reason they can't go 35, 40 minutes each. There is no reason. Yeah, that should be what they do. They should go that long. So there's that. 4 hours, 5 hours if you include the pre-show. That's Survivor Series. WWE, as we reported yesterday, is holding a joint SmackDown and NXT taping next month. I guess they figured out that they had a week missing there in between a recap show and another taping. So NXT will actually tape either before or after the November 2nd Ottawa, Ontario show. That's interesting. That'll be cool to see them in that environment. I think this has happened before. I have to go back and look. But, hey, sometimes you got to do what you got to do. The roster will be in Canada anyway, so why not? If you all haven't checked out our exclusive section under MMA, do that. We have some exclusive analysis on Vince McMahon saying the WWE could sell. That's from Brandon Howard. You won't get that anywhere else. Exclusive analysis from Brandon with charts, graphs, all that cool stuff on the new revealed network subscriber count. Also, I had an exclusive the other night. You may have seen it online, but we had it first at Fightful.com. We spoke to an attorney in the state of Tennessee who revealed that Billy Corgan could very well walk away with nothing in this lawsuit due to some oversights in his agreement. So lots of cool stuff there. Also from last week, Brandon Howard broke down SmackDown versus Raw ratings. Last week, Jimmy Van, the site owner, revealed that Hulk Hogan is getting another huge settlement. That's pretty interesting. And as always, in that exclusive section, I had that Catching Up with Muhammad Hassan article, a good follow-up from my Finding Muhammad Hassan article, where he talks about reuniting with Daivari, meeting some new wrestlers, doing some pro wrestling appearances. He hasn't ruled out managing Daivari. Also, Showdown Joe covered a ton of stuff for us this week. I love hearing him break down the headlines of the week in MMA. So awesome stuff there from him. We have an exclusive interview with Kendall Grove, who fought last week. I spoke to Marlus Kunin, Sergey Karatanov, Liam McGeary, Phil Davis, and Scott Coker of Bellator ahead of next week's show. Finally, the MMA events are starting to ramp back up. I'm very excited about that. Also, Jimmy Van last week reported exclusively on Fightful.com that GSP's management thought that a fight with Anderson Silva in Toronto was a done deal before it all fell through. My nose itches, guys. I promise I'm not like in my office back here doing rails off the wood in Kentucky or anything. I just have an itchy nose. So some headlines I wanted to get into this weekend. We're doing a show tomorrow after Hell in a Cell, but I don't know. I was like, okay, I'm going to look forward to these 2 days not podcasting, but hey, I want to give you all a reason to come back, whether you love us or hate us, whatever. Santino Marella explains why WWE didn't renew his contract. That's up on the site. Go check that out. Also, Goldberg talking about the chances of being booed versus Brock Lesnar. Rob Van Dam on why he is reluctant to wrestle with the WWE. We've got a ton of Halloween-themed wrestling videos popping up as well. Kevin Owens' wife deletes his Instagram account due to bullying. I couldn't imagine the shit she goes through. Our writers go through it. I go through it. And I'm not related to Kevin Owens. Nobody knows who I am. And relatively speaking, a lot of people know who Kevin Owens is. And I don't know if you all have seen some of the comments that like crazy Dean Ambrose fangirls leave on like Renee Young stuff. And Dean Ambrose doesn't have a social media presence to be like, hey, can you all knock that off? I mean, maybe he should, but I feel bad for the woman, for Renee Young. I feel bad for Kevin Owens' wife. It's so weird, the things that people will say behind a computer. I'm like, this is what you do with your time. And sometimes we reply to them. Sometimes we don't. Like, sometimes you'll just reply with are you proud of yourself? Something like that. But that's unfortunate that someone can't just live a normal life because other people want to ruin it for them. I've never understood that. And you just have to wonder, like, what are these people accomplishing? I'm not going to say I didn't do my fair share of trolling when I was younger. I became friends with Justin LaBar of WrestleZone and Trib Live. I trolled him a little bit, and I was a real doucher. Like, it was a low point in my life. And I took my shortcomings out on somebody else. And he contacted me and said, what's the beef? What's up here? And I always respected him for that. And it gave me a completely new perspective on things like that. And quite honestly, it changed my outlook on a lot of things. And you can't restrict yourself. You can't slot yourself as that kind of person. And I feel really bad that Kevin Owens' wife is going through that. That's unfortunate. Vince McMahon reportedly doesn't want Sasha and Charlotte to main event Hell in a Cell. That's weird. They should have maybe promoted it, but they've made this mistake quite a bit. They've made this mistake happen a lot where they put the wrong thing on last. Shouldn't do that. WWE extended Stephanie McMahon's contract another 3 years, I think, 2 or 3 years. Sure. No surprise there. Like, what else is going to happen? Yeah, they're going to fire her? No, not at all. Some rumors. Now, these have not been confirmed. I've worked to confirm this Kevin Dunn, Becky Lynch thing, and I can't get anybody to confirm it for me. But that's happened before, and stories have been true. But there are rumors that Becky Lynch, her accent isn't endearing to Kevin Dunn. Well, okay, Kevin Dunn is getting increasingly less important backstage at WWE. So if that leads to fewer promos, whatever. She's not a really strong promo anyway. So accentuate her positives, make her bigger, make her better. Cool. Rumors that the UFC has been negotiating with GSP for a new deal over the last week. That is true. I have confirmed that since then. That is absolutely true. Observer said there are no plans to bring Nakamura to the main roster. Not as of now. They're not planning on bringing anybody to the main roster like right this second. Fedor has rejected a fight with Shane Carwin, per Carwin. That is absolutely true. I was able to confirm that too. This is Fedor as usual. Jay Lethal may be added to the Kyle O'Reilly versus Adam Cole main event at Final Battle since O'Reilly's contract is up on December 31st. Yeah, if I'm O'Reilly, I'm letting that contract expire, or I'm at least negotiating with the WWN Lives of the world, the WWEs. I don't know about TNA. I don't think I... But you know what? If they make it through this year, TNA, more power to Mike Bennett, Maria, and Moose, who did negotiate and maybe got a little more money out of TNA, less dates, things like that. Cool. Good for them. Oh, this headline out of the MMA world. Jesus Christ. Adam Hunter tested positive for 5 substances. Didn't even make his UFC debut. But I don't know if he didn't get the 4-month waiver or anything. He didn't get the waiver or anything like that, I guess. Because usually, well, no, that's not the case. He was a new signing, so he was getting tested anyway. So there you go. All of the things that he tested positive for: drostanolone, amoxifen, clenbuterol. He's gone until August of 2008. Rightfully so. Jesus, he took everything. Our Matt Riddle podcast, by the way, up for members only. You may notice some of the new visual changes. I love them. I keep telling you all, we're always making changes to Fightful.com. When Jimmy Van started this site, we expected it to be up, going, ready, and done in July, but there are things that we saw something special in this website. This website is really his baby. My baby too, because this is always a situation I wanted to be in. And we do want to make this the destination for MMA, pro wrestling, boxing, especially that crossover. We got Alex Pawlowski coming on full-time November 7th, so you're going to get a lot more colorful coverage. That'll give me more time to get interviews, more time to do long forms, more time to do features, all kinds of stuff. So lots of changes coming. Our forum will be updated soon. You may have caught the sneak peek of it that we accidentally put live yesterday. Or maybe it was the day before. Either way, we accidentally put it live. So, yeah. That's cool. Conor McGregor challenged by an angry clown. That's up on the site. As if people needed more reasons to dislike clowns. An unknown assailant torches Anthony Pettis' cars. That's unusual. Set 2 of them on fire. The third one caught on fire. Jesus Christ. Like, what are people doing? Frank Mir wants out of his UFC contract. He wants to fight overseas in Chechnya and do K1. I think he'll probably get out of it. The UFC, I think, realizes he may have been cut eventually anyway. He's at the end of his rope. Let him make a little bit of money. Let him make a little bit of money. Ideally, that's not what you want to do. But you're not going to have him for 2 years anyway. And I would make an agreement with him and say, okay, listen, but if you're fighting in 2 years, we want you back here. Suspend his contract, essentially. That's what I would try to do. Jessica I taking a year away from the UFC. Yeah, I don't think it's as much as her needing time off as she is a victim of having to jump between 115 and 135. She is ideally a 125-pound fighter, and there is no 125-pound division. What's she going to do? Go fight in Bellator and Invicta and make – she's already not making a lot, which she's going to make a fraction of that there. That's the unfortunate situation with Jessica I. She's just not big enough for 135. She's too big for 125 or 115, rather. It's sad. It's sad. Dana White says the relationship with GSP has never been better. Well, then I expect him to fight on Super Bowl weekend. The reason that they're not going to have him fight in Toronto It's not that difficult. Like, they would love to have him fight in Toronto in December in like 5 weeks. They would love that. But here's the problem. They have already set ticket prices like really low for that show. Like, I think $200, $300 you can get cage side. If it's GSP, those tickets are more like, $1,000, $2,000. So that's why they're not going to do that. They got to maximize. If they're going to pay GSP millions and millions of dollars like he wants and deserves, they got to maximize their gate. And I don't think they can do that. They can't do that in this situation. Sorry. I mean, I know a lot of people are saying, well, we're boycotting, yada, yada. You're not boycotting shit. You might not watch the pay-per-view, but as soon as GSP comes back there, you'll be there. Fabricio Verdum wants Reebok to, and I quote, suck his balls. Well, can't blame him. You see a guy like Brendan Schaub who was making 6 figures off of sponsors and was like, no, I'm good. I'll retire. I'll leave. Sure. I mean, I don't blame him. Matt Mitrione darted. He left the UFC. You see it happen all the time now. Phil Davis left. Ben Henderson left. Josh Thompson was a different situation. Chael Sonnen left. Damn. Fabricio Verdum got relieved of his broadcasting duties because of that. That's horse shit. Why do that? Why do that to the guy? Punish him even more? Yeah, that'll shut him up. That'll shut him up. Good job, guys. Hope you enjoy him going to Bellator after this contract is up. I don't get it. I don't get it. The UFC has repeatedly shot itself in the foot in this situation. Just let them have sponsors. All the sponsor tax and all that stuff. Just make them get the money up front. That's it. Mandate that your fighters must get their sponsorship money up front. That's not hard. Otherwise, the logo doesn't go on anything. If the fighters haven't been paid by weigh-ins, the logo isn't put on the shorts. It's not put on the banner. It's not put on anything. Hey, if you want to make some money on the backside, UFC, produce those shorts for them. Make that the thing. Make the shorts like Reebok shorts or something, but then you run into Under Armour, Nike. Hire a banner maker. I don't know. You find a better way to angle into it. Yeah, if there was a fighters union, this wouldn't be a problem. But there's not, and it's very, very, very unfortunate. It's a bummer. Now, I don't know about pulling him from broadcasting duties, which I hear he's very popular. Pacquiao versus Lomachenko, a possibility, according to Bob Arum. Manny Pacquiao fights next Saturday, and nobody's talking about it. Like, we will have full coverage on the site, thanks to Carlos Toro. But nobody's talking about it, but there he is. Also, apparently, Bob Arum, in his old age, when's the last time he wasn't old, though? Jesus, he's like 84, says that Pacquiao could fight Triple G. Yeah, that's a bad idea for Pacquiao. Maybe if it's his last fight ever and you're trying to really pop a big buy rate, because next week's not going to pop a big buy rate. It's not. Boxing's in rough shape with pay-per-view buys. They're in rough shape in New York, too. Lou DiBella had to cancel a bunch of cards in New York because of the new law that passed allowing MMA into the state. And it's even caused trouble for like World Series of Fighting because the insurance is so high to run MMA events that they're now running one event instead of 3 big events. There were some things that prevented Bellator from running there. They were going to run the Liam McGeary Phil Davis fight there. We have Sergey Kovalev's greatest hits up on the site. That's in our boxing section. As I mentioned, Vladimir Klitschko injured, not competing in December against Anthony Joshua. Like, listen, I'm not going to pretend to be a boxing expert, but Tyson Fury's out. Klitschko is out. Do Joshua versus Wilder. As reported last week, Amir Khan out till summer 2017. Man, I hate this for boxing. I really do. Like, Floyd's not fighting. Klitschko's injured. Tyson Fury is a frigging mess. He is a mess. Amir Khan out until 2017. I don't think Miguel Cotto will fight again in 2016. I know the Triple G Daniel Jacobs fight isn't happening in 2016. Billy Joe Saunders is hurt. Bummer. Just a bummer. At least you got Bernard Hopkins in December, I guess. Sad state of affairs. We are back tomorrow after Hell in a Cell, by the way. Full live viewing party. We have live viewing parties of everything at Fightful.com. I mean, any MMA event you want. Bellator, anything on Fight Pass, UFC, boxing events, NXT, Lucha Underground, TNA, Raw, SmackDown, pay-per-views. Come in there and talk, things like that. Do that. Chill. Talk some shit. Also, we're going to be doing some giveaways. You'll see our promotions on like Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, stuff like that. Go follow us at Fightful Online, Twitter, Facebook. That really helps us out a lot. Also sharing stuff in Facebook groups, Facebook, Twitter, Reddit, all that stuff helps. If you want to be eligible for our giveaway, I'm talking DVDs, games, books, signed books, autographs, cool stuff like that. Register at Fightful.com. It's absolutely free. No credit card required. And I know the forum is a little janky right now, but we're updating to V-Bulletin, I think, next week. So post on those forums, which if you register, you can post on the forums. No big deal. And you will be registered to win one of our sweet prizes, you guys. Lots of cool stuff coming up on Fightful.com. Go check out our exclusives, you guys. If you've never been to the site itself, I know some of you just watch the podcasts, but we're trying to build this site and cater to what you guys want. That's why we've added more features up at the top of the page where you can just scroll. We used to have that weird, clunky, like 4-picture thing. Now at any given time, there are 9 features on our main site that slide around. So go check that out, guys. Hope you enjoyed this little miniature podcast. I'll be back tomorrow night after Hell in a Cell with Alex Palowski, guys. Until next time, catch you later.